Whoa, okay. I think we're live. Hopefully we're live. We'll see how it goes. Let me see if I can share this live stream on my Twitter really quick. And for those of you who are joining in late or whatever, or what, after this live stream, just know that I do not actually have the Pixel 4 on me, or I did not buy the Pixel 4. This is just a live impressions video of the actual device. Since I kind of missed the whole, I guess I missed the whole conference yesterday. Was it today? No, it was yesterday. And I just wanted to talk about the phone, give you guys my thoughts and opinion on it, and just have a general chat and discussion with you guys tonight. So if you guys are just joining in, hit that like button. If you guys are subscribed, thank you all for returning to my channel, by the way. Again, this is just a late night stream, of course, right, where we're going to talk about the Pixel 4. I want y'all's thoughts and opinion on the device also. I've already seen several, several like hands-on videos of the actual device. And again, it's not a phone that, I guess, going to blow your mind as far as the looks go. I think it's pretty much trying to copy the iPhone identically as far as the back portion of the actual phone, which, if you guys have seen the Pixel 4, basically they're copying that little square cutout that the iPhone's doing. And what I mean is like something like this, where they're copying that little square cutout. The only difference with their phones are they're actually making the square cutout black instead of blending it in with the colors like the iPhone is. So mine obviously has a case, so you see like a black surrounding, but the Pixel 4 will just have like black all around. And of course it has the LED flash or whatever. It has the 2 camera sensors, which is kind of a big shock because, I guess Pixel has been kind of like a big advocate about their, like how good their cameras are, and just, them not having to use dual or tri cameras to take good, solid pictures. And if you own the Pixel 3 or any of the other Pixel devices, you can probably attest to that you don't really need that second, wide or ultra wide camera. For the most part, they've mostly focused on like telephoto lenses, right? And that's where they're sticking to here. They're sticking to telephoto lenses on their actual device. So if you guys are there, say hi. Give me a thumbs up, please, if you guys are joining in. I don't have the phone on me, guys. Sorry, you can see my dog in the background, by the way. It's Coco's birthday, by the way, tomorrow. So wish my dog a happy birthday. If you guys are just chiming in, say hi. If you guys are just joining in. And join in on the discussion here as we talk about the Google Pixel 4. And, I want y'all's thoughts and opinion on the phone also. What are y'all thinking about the phone? What do you guys like about the phone? What do you guys hate about the phone? Again, there are 2 variants of the phone. Just like you see on the iPhone, you have the iPhone 11 and then the iPhone 11 Pro and the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Google, unfortunately, just has 2 variants. They have the Google Pixel 4 and then the Google Pixel 4 XL. Okay, not really seeing much of a huge difference across the Pixel 4 and the Pixel 4 XL other than the screen body ratio and the battery. So obviously if you get the bigger phone, you're going to get the bigger battery. But the price ranges of this phone have not gone down either for the most part. So if you guys are looking to kind of, spend a little amount of money, you might want to turn the other way. You might actually want to go the iPhone route because the MSRP on these phones are still up there. They're on between the $700 and $900 range, just depending on which variant you guys get. So let me know if the chat's working, guys, over here by saying something, because I'm not getting anything on my end, or maybe it's my chat window. I'm not 100% sure. Let me know. See if anyone's actually out there watching, or if it's just like spy bots on me, spying on me. Whoa, David Duchovny. But yes, you guys let me know, what are y'all thoughts and opinions on the Pixel 3? Justin Martinez, chat test. Awesome. Thanks for giving me a chat test, by the way, brother. I was like, I have people watching. No one wants to say hi. So late night chat, Justin Martinez. It's a nice night in the valley, by the way, as far as the weather goes. So hope you're enjoying the weather now that cool front came in. I'm drinking a little bit of the bubbly. I'm gonna turn on my AC by the way, because even though the weather's nice out there, it's hot in this room because this room's not that well insulated. Should I do the backwards cap tonight instead, guys? Do I look better like that? I don't know. I won't wash this. Is it clean? A little bit of the bubble. Giving Chris Jericho a shout out, or how about I just do like the sideways cap, like throw back in it to like I don't know what generation or era that's from actually, but we can do the sideways cap also. But yeah, for the most part, I didn't watch Google's like I/O or whatever you want to call it nowadays. I guess their press conference on the Pixel 4. I'm really not generally like impressed on these like conferences or videos that they do nowadays, just especially on their lineup of products, just because I mean, for the most part, every year they don't really come out with like something that's too like innovative or crazy, I guess. I think the only thing that the Pixel 4 has going for it right now is that they finally got rid of the notch, which if you guys have seen the mock-ups or the actual phone itself, they finally, they went from having the notch on the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 3, right? Or at least the XL versions. And they just decided, hey, let's get rid of it all together. You know what I mean? Which I thought was a pretty bold move on the Pixels portion of it, because like I mean, if you bought the Pixel 3, you can actually get rid of the notch by just using that little software enhancement, but it really wasn't too big of a difference. But I don't know, what are y'all's thoughts on the phone? Again, if I have anybody here tonight watching, like, please say something, please, because it's hard to bounce back. It's hard to bounce back off myself at times. I mean, I can talk all day, right? But if no one else is joining in on the chat, like it's gonna be very hard for me to like just go back and forth with myself. So let's go over the specs with you guys though, while you guys are like, I guess, just watching or whatever, and hopefully someone will say something there. So I'm gonna read off the specs of the Google Pixel 4 XL. Again, this was announced yesterday, and the release date is actually October the 24th on this phone. So the XL has a 6.3 touch display, 1440 by 3040 pixels, which is like, I have no clue what the resolution on that is. I'm going to assume it's like a 4K display. The camera has a 12.12 main rear camera and an 8 megapixel front, sporting a Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 octa-core processor clocked at 2.8 gigahertz, which to me, it's like, okay, if you're, hey, what's up, Altamir Bazera, Brazil, from Brazil. How's it going? Big fan. And again, we're just going over the Pixel 4 and the specs and the way it looks, etc., like that. So if you look at the specs as a whole, obviously it has the newest version of Android, right? Android 10. It's got a Snapdragon 855, which is what most like top smartphones have nowadays. But if you think about it, if you're going to sell a phone that's like in the $800 price range, specifically like this phone right here, it costs a lot of money, guys, for what it is. I think the MSRP for this phone is $899 for the XL, and it's just like, okay, you're already like in iPhone territory, right? But at the same time, they have the Snapdragon 855 Plus, which is a faster processor. And my question to like Google is why are they putting basically the 855, even though it's still one of the top processors out there as far as like for mobile phones, it's not the fastest anymore. So like if this phone hasn't even been released, why are they releasing a phone with an older processor in it? Because if you think about it, the Snapdragon 855 has been around since kind of like late last year. Let me send this snap to my friend. But anywho, like it's one of those deals where it's like, okay, you have phones like the OnePlus 7 Pro and like the Asus ROG phone, or whatever you want to call it, phones that have like that better chipset than the actual Google Pixel, and yet they're still selling these phones at a higher price point, which doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Let's see. Justin Martinez says, I use the Pixel 1 and 2, and they were okay as far as Android being pure Android, but just lacked features a Samsung will give you. Well, I mean, a lot of those features that you can get like on second party apps or whatever, or launchers, I think a lot of people are missing like things that, Samsung's UI does opposed to like stock Android. You know what I mean? Altamir Bazera, Brazil. How's it going, man? And I don't know. I just decided to live stream tonight, guys, just because I put up a few videos last week, but I mostly put up vlog videos, so I haven't really done like any kind of techie type videos as of late. I'm still thinking about doing the iPhone 7 review just for the heck of it. Justin Martinez says, I actually got emailed recently for the Pixel 1 class action lawsuit. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on with the Pixel 1 class action lawsuit. I don't know if that means you guys are going to get money. I don't know if that means the phones were like blowing up in the background or something like that. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what was happening there. But, for the most part, I think, Pixel, they did pretty good with the Pixel 3a, like lowering that price point under $500. Even though it's more of a mid-range device, though, they're still giving you like a very good quality phone as far as that goes. But at the same time, it's like, okay, like, if you're gonna try to even compete with Apple as far as like price point go, like, why are you producing a phone that's costing like way more, which doesn't really give you that much more than the last version of the phone? You know what I mean? I think the only thing that I really think that's pretty cool about the phone is like that sensor stuff in the front, which is probably where all that money is going. As far as the body build and everything, though, it's got an aluminum build all the way around with that matte coloring in the back, which I think the matte colors are like a thing now in 2019. I feel like you can blame guys like Marquez or MKBHD for making like matte everything a trend, because if you think about it, like his videos influenced a lot of people to want to have devices and just things like that in general. So I feel like because of these big influencers that you're starting to see like trends on these phones just kind of get out of whack, rather than make the phone like good for what it is. They're just they're trying to, I guess they're trying to appeal to the mass consumer. Actually, everyone, if you guys want to talk about that. The Pixel earpiece would stop working after a year. That's why I had to buy another Pixel. They're refunding people because, I mean, they should. I mean, especially at the price of those phones. I don't remember how much the first version of the Pixel cost, but if you guys are spending like hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a phone that wasn't really backed by like any type of warranty as far as that goes, then for the most part, yes, I think Google should, give you guys your money back and whatnot, or at least replace your phone. You know what I mean? If you still have that phone, replace it. Have them give you the option. Hey, we'll give you a Pixel 3 or a Pixel 3a in place of the whatever Pixel that was in the lawsuit. Or hell, I mean, they could even go a step further and give away the Pixel 4 to the people that had to deal with all that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Excuse me, guys. My hair's jacked up over here. I know. Let me put my glasses back on. Let me get the hat backwards again over here for you guys. If you guys are just joining in, hit that like button. By the way, we are just talking about the Pixel 4. I do not have the phone, by the way. So if you guys think I have the phone, I do not. It's just an impressions video. I was going over the specs here. So let me continue on with the specs. Okay, so storage on the Pixel 4, base storage is actually 64 gigs, and that's what I'm seeing all the way around on the phone. So if you guys paid attention, the Pixel 4 will no longer have a Touch ID or fingerprint reader. So a lot of these smartphone manufacturers are kind of going into that fingerprint in display touch, but a lot of other smartphone manufacturers are kind of steering away from it and just using Face ID. So I think Pixel did the right thing, first of all, by just kind of going with Face ID. I don't know if their Face ID is going to be any different from other versions of Face ID that you would see in other versions of Android, specifically like on LG and companies like Samsung. But Pixel 4 has that major sensor in the front that's going to allow you to have a little more leeway. Instead of having to lift the phone and go to you directly, that sensor is actually going to be able to detect when you're getting close to the phone, and you don't even have to look directly at it. All you have to do is just pick it up, and it will unlock on the way up. So aside from the fingerprint going missing, so as far as 2019 goes, hey, what's up, Tech for Your Needs? How's it going, man? Thanks for joining in tonight. So as far as like the build quality on the phone goes, I'm seeing here that most smartphone manufacturers are not really going the thin route anymore on phones. So as you can see here, like this is my iPhone 11 in the case, right? But it's not that much thinner than what you see in the case. And it's a pretty bulky phone, by the way. So the Google Pixel 4 is really no exception when it comes to that. So, I mean, if you see it, obviously it's going to be a little thicker, especially the XL version. But, I mean, even then, it's 2019. Like, battery life is a must now. I feel like if you can't get through a full day without at least having like a decent amount of battery life left, then the phone's not really worth it. As far as them going or upping their storage from like 32 to 64, I think that's pretty good though. Obviously it's going to be running on LTE. It's got a dual SIM card slot also, if you guys are into that. It does have NFC also, and I want to say it's waterproof. Let me find the waterproofing. I did read somewhere that it has some sort of IP rating. I think it's IP67 or IP68 rating. It's got an OLED panel, right? This is the XL, which the pixel density is 534, which is going to be crazy. But I've already heard a lot of complaints that the brightness is not where it should be as far as that. Maybe that'll be fixed with a software update. It does have a 90 hertz refresh rate, which a lot of people are kind of like, I guess, forgetting that. Hey, what's up, Jeremy Baker? But you forgot to mention the huge downside with the Pixel's Face ID. All right, Jeremy Baker, go ahead and talk to me about the huge downside about the Face ID. Obviously, it's not going to be like on par with Apple's or anything like that. But I do think that it's probably better that Google tries to steer away from the whole Touch ID thing. I mean, I know people still want to use Touch ID, right? But if you want to use Touch ID, you're gonna have to buy a phone that has one. But again, going back to the screen and the refresh rate, it's got a 90 hertz refresh rate, guys. So obviously, it's gonna have a nice screen. The mobile gaming on it's going to be a little bit different. Obviously, you are going to see that little notch on the top, which I think is pretty crazy. Like, I feel like, okay, they had the notch, right? They were trying to copy iPhone and other makers, but now let me fix that. Let me fix the phone for you guys just because I think that looks wonky. But now it's like, okay, screen resolution on the XL is 1440 by 3040. So that's the regular Pixel 4 is just going to be 1080. 1080p screen resolution. So I think that's not too bad as far as the resolution on the phone. Obviously, you'll be able to watch like higher crisp videos when it comes to like YouTube and Netflix and all that. It does again have that 12 megapixel camera on the back, and the cool part about it is it does have optical image stabilization, especially that it has that laser focus now. Let's see, it's got an f1.7 aperture, which is very low, so you'll be able to take good bokeh shots, right? So the second camera is a 16 megapixel telephoto lens, right? And again, it's got very good phase detection and autofocus, so it's going to be able to really capture whoever's in the shot and focus really well on the person. Video recording, obviously, it's going to be in 4K UHD at 30 frames per second. Which I'm surprised they're not really trying to do anything else as far as like the video. I think like, yes, the Pixel is focused more on cameras, but at the same time, like they should also I mean, if they're going to focus on the camera, they should focus on the cameras all the way around, not just, picture quality. Obviously pictures are important, right? But so is videos, right? And I feel like now in 2019 that, this generation of people are taking advantage of video opposed to pictures. People are doing more live streams just like I'm doing right now. I'm not using a phone, by the way. I'm using a webcam. So there you go. Justin Martinez says the 90 hertz screen is dependent on the apps being used. It won't be 90 hertz when just on the home screen. So that really just depends on the app, like you say, especially I guess when it comes to like gaming. So that'll be interesting if it'll give you the option to like change the refresh rate in the options on Android 10 though. So Tech for Your Needs says the only disappointing thing about the Pixel 4 is not having a wide angle camera. A lot of people are kind of complaining about that, and I can see why they're complaining about that. To me, the wide angle camera is not that important. If you guys want a wider shot, just get back. just and in some cases it's easier than others, right? Obviously, if you're in a room, it's going to be a little harder for you to get back, especially when you're like behind a wall. So there is some benefits to having a wide angle or ultra wide angle lens. What's up, Art Dog? How's it going, dog? I hope you've been watching my videos, bro. This is again, I do not have the Pixel 4. This is just more of like an impressions and discussions video, and I'm sorry if I misled you guys with the thumbnail, by the way, clickbait. But I wanted to get you guys into on the chat tonight. Hopefully we can have a nice little chat. It's barely 10:07 where I am, so it's still relatively early. Let's see. It doesn't look okay. Jeremy Baker says it doesn't look for response like if you're sleeping and someone else takes the phone and points it to your face. It will unlock without verifying if you're actually alive, if you know what I mean. Wow, that's kind of creepy. That's kind of creepy. But again, you know, that really goes back to like software updates. And if people are not going to like it, like how it is at first, people are going to complain. And then eventually they will hopefully change stuff like that. So Jeremy Baker says also they discontinued giving Pixel owners unlimited original storage with their purchase, which is really weird. What's up, Michael Hill? It's been a while, man. Long time no see. It's been a while, guys. I feel like I haven't had you guys in my live streams in a while. That's interesting, though, because I've had like original Nexus devices, and even with the Nexus devices, they always offered you unlimited like photo storage and video storage. I think I still have it, even though I don't have a Nexus device anymore or a Pixel device. I still get offered that. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not complaining at this point. I even use the Google Photo storage on my iPhone. So, okay, it's not clickbait because I'm talking about the Pixel 4. Oh, I love you guys. By the way, tomorrow is my dog's birthday, guys. So send her some love. Send Coco some love over here. Maybe send her a super chat over here. That way I can take her out tomorrow after I get out of work. Take her for a nice walk. Maybe get her a nice little snack or something like that. I'm drinking a little bit of the bubbly. But yeah, for the most part, you know, I'm just really not impressed with the phone. I think Marquez said it pretty well that he's kind of like insulted or something like that in his videos for good reasons. I mean, it's just really not, I don't know. It's not super like, wow, like, you know, this phone is worth buying again. That Snapdragon 855 eventually is not going to be very good when it comes to the actual phone. I mean, heck, the Pixel 3 has a Snapdragon freaking 855 for crying out loud. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But no, I mean, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. The Pixel 3 has a Snapdragon 845, which, you know, I don't see probably that much of a speed difference from one to the other. Obviously, I've never used anything with a Snapdragon. Yeah, thanks for correcting me, Jeremy Baker. Has an 845. It's whatever, though. Like most of the phones that have come out in 2019 already have the 855. So instead of Google trying to kind of one up it, they're just, you know, throwing the same chip that all the other phones have instead of, you know, going a different route and saying, okay, yeah, let's give it the 855 plus or let's give it the 865. You know what I mean? Michael Hill says, sorry, I haven't really been tuning in, been busy with school and work lately. That's okay, brother. I know all of you guys have your lives, man. Thanks for joining in tonight, by the way. I mean, it's Wednesday night. My vacation ended last week, so I hope you guys enjoyed those vlog videos. I know the beach video that I posted had a little bit of wind noise in the background, and there's stuff that I just really couldn't edit out as far as the wind noise. So I do apologize about that, guys. But I did film that on the iPhone 7, and I wanted to kind of see like how everything would come out on the iPhone 7. I even edited the video on the iPhone 7, so everything I used iMovie on. I feel like I'm kind of getting lazy with my editing over here. Instead of like editing over here on my computer, I'm just doing it on my phone now. Yeah, so I don't. Yeah, Jeremy Baker, I kind of agree with you, man. That yes, you know, Pixel maybe should maybe wait, you know, a little later, especially in the year. You know, if Snapdragon is going to release like a stronger chip for some of these newer devices. I mean, definitely I can't complain to, or I can't say anything otherwise, right? But at the same time, it's like, if you want to be like a top tier phone and you want to compete with guys like Apple, LG, Samsung, right, who again are all using the same chipset minus Apple, who uses their Bionic chips or whatever, then you want to kind of differentiate yourself, especially since Google, again, they wait until the very end of the year. So you have Samsung, LG, all these other phone manufacturers that post their devices. They release their devices early in the year. It's not like they get released early, or I mean late in the year. So really, the only phone manufacturer, the big phone manufacturers that release their phones late in the year, obviously, are Google and Apple. Obviously, you already have the OnePlus 7 Pro out, and just a bunch of other devices that have already come out since like spring/early summer, if anything. You know what I mean? And again, all of them have probably higher end specs than the Pixel 4. So my gripe on that is just like, yeah, they should have waited, or they should have, instead of releasing a phone every single year, which I know is what a lot of people look for, because they got to have that new phone every single year so that they can have that 1 megapixel better in camera or whatever. You know what I mean? I feel like 5 years from now, like the specs are really not going to matter anymore, and camera quality is really not going to matter anymore, because it's all going to be the same. You're going to have just a really good phone, and you're going to have a really expensive device at the end of the day. Maybe the Pixel 3 will go down on price, and maybe I will get my hands on a Pixel 3 or a Pixel 3A. I don't know. I mean, I've been kind of wanting to get my hands on a Pixel 3A, but still the price point is still. I've been kind of wanting to get the Bold N1, guys. You guys let me know what you guys think about that. Getting my hands on the N1. I haven't really done an Android interview in a while, or Android review, excuse me. New Mobile, if you guys are watching, hit me up, man. And I just ate, guys, so excuse me. I'm a little burply from the bubbly over here. And I ate late, which I probably shouldn't have, but it's all good. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, again, the Pixel 4, it's really not that big something to gawk at. You know what I mean? It's really not that good looking of a phone. I feel like the back of the phone is probably like the better looking phone, I guess. Or the colors are okay. I think you have like that salmon color. You have white, panda white, and then you just have black. So it comes in 3 different colors, which is pretty cool. If I were to get the Pixel 4, though, I would probably go the regular smaller size one, which is the 5.7-inch screen. Although the battery life on it is really like 2,800 milliamps in 2019 on a phone with the screen that big. It kind of makes me question what Google was thinking. You know what I mean? Because the Pixel 4 XL has a 3,800 milliamp battery. So why would you go from a 28 to a 38? Like, there's really not like, I mean, that's a big leap. I mean, obviously, if you want the better battery life, you're going to go with the Pixel 4 XL. So, and again, it's always going to be like $100 different. Jeremy Baker, send me your N1, man, so I can review it, man. Thanks. Just kidding. How is the phone, man? I mean, I think it's a really good looking phone for what it is. I agree that the regular Pixel 4 with the 90 hertz refresh rate is going to suffer, and I'm hoping that that you're able to change that in the settings to lower it, because I mean, at the end of the day, like, battery life for people is going to be very important. I feel like the top 3 things for people to have on a smartphone is, 1, buttery smoothness, right? Camera, obviously, and then the battery life. Those are like the top 3 things that everyone wants in a smartphone in 2019. Obviously, you have your people that are into gaming who want, very nice solid screen. To me, like, the screen really isn't that important as long as I'm able to see it good enough. Like, I kind of downgraded on like my iPhone over here, the iPhone 11, which obviously has a liquid retina display. You guys can't even see it over here because it's just whatever. But this is nothing compared to the OLED panel that I had on the iPhone 10, and I right away could tell the difference when I switched over from the iPhone 10 to the iPhone 11. and I'm not complaining or anything like that. I think my eyes have kind of adjusted to the LCD panel, or back to the LCD panel. But at the same time, like the iPhone 10's OLED panel is just like way above like this. And yes, I know Samsung makes OLED panels and yada yada yada. I do not have the iPhone 10 anymore. No, I sold it off a while back already. So there's that. I only had my iPhone 10 for a couple days after I got this one, and then I ended up selling it really quick. So that's what happened with my iPhone. If you guys are curious about that, it's been gone a while. I think I got rid of it like 2 days after I got this phone. So what are y'all's thoughts on the Pixel 4? What are y'all's questions on it, or do you guys have questions or comments for me? Like, I mean, again, I haven't live streamed in a while. I guess I didn't live stream at all last week, I think, or maybe I did. I don't remember. I need to go back to my videos. Okay, Jeremy Baker says you can change the refresh rate, but it also has software that knows when you're looking at the screen and are interacting with an application that doesn't benefit from 90 hertz and will lower accordingly. Okay, well, that's not too bad. I think, I mean, hopefully that'll help out for the most part as far as battery life. But even then, like the 2800 milliamp battery on the smaller phone, it's going to make a lot. It's going to kind of deter a lot of people from using that smaller phone. And for the most part, as a person that is not a really big fan of bigger phones, like I'm not a fan of this iPhone 11 size. I think it's what, a 6.1 inch display or something like that, or 6.2. I don't remember. But the iPhone 10, which was again around 5.7, 5.8 inches, was a lot smaller. It was more easier to one hand with like usability. I was able to just take it out of my pocket and do swipe gestures and everything on that phone easily. This phone, I actually have to use two hands a lot of the times because my thumb does not go all the way across the screen. I don't have ginormous fingers like some people do. Tech for Your Needs says, honestly, the Pixel 4 is an ugly phone in his opinion. I mean, I don't disagree with Tech for Your Needs. By the way, I don't think it's that great of a looking phone either. I think it's probably a bigger upgrade than the Pixel 3, though. When it comes to looks, I was never really a fan of the Pixel 3 and how that phone looked specifically, or even the Pixel 3a. I think Google could have did a little better. Because I mean, if you guys look at smartphones like the Umidigi A5 Pro and like any of the Umidigi lineup, like all their phones look way better. Motorola devices, they all look better than the Google Pixel phones. They don't perform as well, obviously, but they all look better. You know what I mean? Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of people are gonna, differentiate the phones. The 1080 screen resolution to the Quad HD, like you said, on the XL. Which again, that might be worth the extra $100 to $200 that you're spending on the larger device. But yeah, me personally, I am not a fan of any phones that are like over 6 inches in screen size, and you can see why. Like, I'm trying to like close my hands here, and I can't close them. That's how big this phone is. You know what I mean? So, for the most part, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Everyone's gonna have their preference. Obviously, people cater to the big phones because it's easier for them to see and play games for the most part. Me, I mean, I like the smaller screen phones just because, like, again, the usability is just a lot more practical for me because of the size of my hands. And I don't really have small hands. I mean, I feel like I have pretty decent sized hands. I mean, for a Latino in 2019, at least. Where's Michael Hull at, man? Where you at, bro? Are you still there? Art Dog, are you still there, man? I haven't seen you guys in a while, man. What are you guys interested in seeing on my channel, by the way? What do you want to see more of? A Note 10 Lite? That's interesting. I mean, I really don't see the point in getting a light version of the phone. Check this out. I bought this cheapy tripod and thing at a dollar store for $1, guys. If you guys are ever thinking about getting into YouTube, you can buy these nowadays at dollar stores for like less than $5. Five and Below probably has them also. So if you guys want to start vlogging, hit me up. I'll give you a shout out on my channel. Okay. Art Dog says it caught me eating. I don't think I would be really interested in buying a Samsung Note at a lower price point unless it was like significantly less. I'm talking about like $500 to $700 price range. And that's not really saying anything, I guess, as far as that goes. Because again, obviously, if you're cutting like the price in half, I mean, as much as the Note 10 is, which is what, like in the $1,200 price range already. I mean, I just can't justify spending that much money on smartphones anymore. I think from now on into the end of my time, I might just go the cheaper route. If iPhone decides to come out with a Pro version every year, I'm probably not going to get the Pro version. Just because, I'm just very happy with, the iPhone 11 as is, even though people are going to complain, oh, it doesn't have the ultra wide angle lens over here. I don't really care. I don't really need it, to be honest. Really, that's the only feature besides the screen that is the difference between the Pro and the regular iPhone 11. You know what I mean? Battery life on the iPhone 11 is still great. Yes, you're going to get way better battery life on the iPhone 11 Pro Max, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, you say 649 supposedly with the Snapdragon 855. I mean, it's not no curve screen. Okay, that no curve screen, so I'm just not gonna buy it. I don't know, guys. It's just one of those deals where it's like, you're gonna buy what you're gonna buy, and it's gonna either be good and you're gonna like it, or it's gonna be horrible and you're gonna hate it. You know what I mean? I think smartphones within the next couple of years, they're all going to be the same. Whether you buy LG or Samsung or Apple or whatever, Motorola. I mean, there's so many brands of smartphones out there. It's pretty crazy. I feel like the brands like Sony, Asus, and all those other brands that are out there that really don't get a lot of recognition as far as their smartphones go. Their phones are getting a lot better, but at the same time, because you have such well-established phones like LG and Samsung and Apple, that it's really hard for their phones to kind of get popular and become like, more mainstream than you would see these other devices. But at the end of the day, again, it's preference. Is that my dog, guys? Hold on. Is that my dog? Say hi to Sophia, guys. Yeah. Jump. My dog wanted to bug me, guys, so now I'm gonna play. We're good at play. Ooh, you have stinky breath. I need to give her a mint or something like that. Stay there. Go to sleep. These dogs always want to play, guys, and I don't know what's going on. She is a big dog. She looks small, but there's my other dog in the background. She's not a small dog by any means. Like, she weighs about 50 pounds, dude. She's a big dog, though. She's heavy. Like, she's not, like, big in stature, but she's just a heavy dog. I don't know how she got so fat. Like, she's only like 2 years old. She eats everything, though. Like, she just loves to eat everything. Okay. So does this one, though. So does the fat, ugly one over here, Coco. Yeah, you're right. If you're gonna charge between $800 and $1,000, you have to bring it. And I feel like you're gonna see a lot of those tech reviewers go out there and complain about the Pixel 4. I feel like that's what's gonna happen. Like, it's just gonna be a letdown. I mean, you're gonna have your diehard Pixel fanboys out there that are gonna praise the heck out of the phone. You know what I mean? I feel like the main YouTubers are the ones that criticize like all the little quirks about the phone, but at the same time, there's still a lot of good things about the Pixel 4 that people are not saying, I mean, obviously it's not a big major improvement over the Pixel 3. So I mean, if I were to have the Pixel 3 right now, and I was going to upgrade, I probably wouldn't upgrade to the Pixel 4. I mean, if anything, just more for aesthetic purposes, the way that the phone looks or whatever, you know what I mean? That would be the only reason, because that's basically it. And maybe that second camera, which again, you want to, have a very good telephoto lens over here. Who's that right there? Who's that? Who's that right there? Who's that? Huh? Who's that? Who's that right there? Huh? Trying to get her to growl at herself. Trying to growl at your ugly self. Yeah, the other dog. Well, the other dog is my parents' dog, but I mean, I live at my parents' house, so it's kind of like my dog also. This dog is my dog, though. I feel like, okay, now that you're saying that, our dog, excuse me. I feel like that I don't know if Pixel will ever break out of that barrier like the and get on LG's and Samsung's or Apple's level. I think even like LG still has probably a bigger selling point of smartphones than Pixel does, right? Especially because the LG like G8 really wasn't that big. No one really cared for that phone, but I'm sure a lot of people still ended up getting it because, a lot of phone companies will just give you the damn phone if you like switch over to their service and stuff like that. So a lot of people don't realize, hey, like, you can still get like a top tier phone from these, from your carriers with very like little to no money. You know what I mean? Just because no one wants them. Samsung 2126. What's up, man? How's it going? I saw the specs on the new CoolPad Legacy, and I wouldn't get it, man. I just don't. The current CoolPad Legacy is better than the one that's coming out. So I don't know what CoolPad is doing with that exactly. Yeah, I think LG phones has horrible marketing. LG has made great phones in the past, guys. I mean, I can't knock on LG too hard because they made the Nexus 4, they made the Nexus 5, they made the Nexus 5X, all Google products also. The LG series was really more popular in its earlier infancy with like the phones like the G2 and the G3 up to the G4. I think after the G5, it kind of lost credibility because of the way of the route that they went with like the whole like changing of like the parts and everything like that. They were trying to kind of like copy Motorola in a sense where like, you were able to change like the face and or whatnot and like add all these like little attachments that no one wanted to spend hundreds of dollars on, you know what I mean? And then when they decided, hey, the LG G6 came out, I had the G6 personally, and I thought it was an okay phone, but at the end of the day, it was a really slow phone. It was not flagship level as far as performance goes, at least not in my opinion. I had an iPhone 6s that was a lot faster than the LG G6, which was at the time, I think it was like a year or two newer than the iPhone 6s. And yet the iPhone 6s was still running a lot better and smoother. And again, that's an iPhone, though. Yeah, the modular phones. Yeah, and I'm not I'm not too keen on like I'm not really one to care about like phone updates as far as like the versions of Android that are going along with it, basically, because I mean, if you think about it, Android has really been the same since like Android like 6.0. There really hasn't been much that has changed other than like security patches and maybe a small feature here or there, right? But even then, like I don't really care about the version of Android. I think Apple is really good with its updates because if you get one update, you're getting updates all around on all of their devices, pretty much like all the way back to like the iPhone 6s, I think, is where you'll still be getting like updates on like the new versions of of iOS. But as far as like Android goes, I don't really care because I just really want it to be secure and I just really want the phone to be functional and usable. Okay, that's kind of my quirk when it comes to like Android phones. You know what I mean? Like I don't care if it has 8.0, 9.0, 7.0. I mean, I could probably use a phone that has Android 6.0 and I really won't be able to tell too much of a difference between now, again, Android 10.0, which will be coming out with the new Pixel 4, and then again a phone that has like Android 6. There's really not that big of a difference, honestly. LG phones not getting updates are what deter me too. I mean, I don't know what's going on with that. At least I hope if LG phones, people are buying them. I hope at least that they're getting like security patches or something like that, because that's really what people should care about, because you don't want your identity and stuff being compromised in any sense. And just little software bugs here and there, especially when it comes to the phone. I think that if you're going to sell a phone, at least you should give out updates for at least 2 to 3 years. You know what I mean? Like, that will support that device. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's one thing that Apple has over like a lot of these other companies, is that they're paying developers and whoever to constantly throw out and roll out updates for these devices to make the devices run better. You know what I mean? And that's what all manufacturers should do. I think that everybody should do that. Okay, let's see. Samsung says the Google Pixel phones are the iPhones because they like Apple and get every updates. I mean, yes and no, because Pixel phones will only give you about like 3 years of updates before the phone decides to before Android or Google says, sorry, we're not going to update your phone anymore, right? But I mean, if you look back again, Apple with the iPhone 6s, when did the iPhone 6s come out, guys? It's 2019. That phone came out like in 2013, 14 or whatever like that. It's been quite a long time since that phone came out, and that phone is still getting updates. You know what I mean? So it's like, a phone that old, which probably shouldn't be getting updates anymore, is still getting updates. And again, if I were to try busting out my Nexus 6 or 6P, you're probably not going to be able to update it no higher than like Android 8.0, maybe Android 9.0 at the highest. You know what I mean? Our dog says, I can't say I agree with you there. Things like split screen and PIP, I don't know what PIP is, are things I really like. I'm not sure again. I mean, I know split screen is like Android features, obviously, right? But at the end of the day, like me, I would rather sacrifice something like a split screen than having a phone that constantly gets updates. Picture in the picture, which I should check to see if my iPhone, I think, needs to get an update also. Let's see. Checking for updates. I know this phone specifically is due for an update. Yep, there it is. Android iOS 13.1.3. So I've already had like 3 or 4 updates on this device since I've gotten the actual phone. So my dog is licking my hand, guys. I don't know what's going on there. Picture within a picture. That's not important to me, honestly. And the reason is because iPhones just work so fast that I don't have to do stuff like that, I guess. Ew. Yeah, I need to update mine. I think it's been sitting like this for a while. I just haven't done it. I've been kind of lazy on it. That's my fault. I don't know, guys, but the Pixel. Sorry, I'm like quiet over here. I'm checking my phone. Again, the Pixel 4. I just don't think that it should be selling for what it is in the price range. I need to be connected to Wi-Fi. I should go ahead and update it. I wonder if my phone has enough battery to update the phone. Let's find out. It's only 144 megs. All right, I'm downloading it. It says includes bug fixes and improvements for your iPhone. Microsoft has a foldable phone. What? That's crazy. I didn't even know Microsoft still made phones. Okay, that's how like behind I am when it comes to smartphones sometimes. the heck? Okay, so then it's not a foldable phone, it's a foldable tablet. Oh, okay, I forget that they have their own keynote as well. Oh my gosh. Hey, mom. My dogs are not. My dogs are being annoying, guys. Now, who's that right there? Say happy birthday to Coco, guys. Her birthday is in about an hour. She turns the big 4. By the way, she's a young woman in dog years. It was announced last week. All right, Coco's birthday. Yeah, happy birthday, Coco. Happy birthday, yeah. Oh, she's checking her money makers. I gotta block that. I'm gonna get demonetized now because of that. I mean, I don't mind the memory being only 64 gigs for the for the starting point, I guess. I mean, if you think about it, the Apple is the same thing. The base Apple iPhone is 64 gigs at the base. You know what I mean? And for the most part, like you still have cloud storage, Google Drive, Google Photos. Even though a lot of people are saying that or somebody said earlier that Google Photos is not going to be or Pixel is not going to support unlimited uploads anymore. I guess, which to me, why promote it on your older stuff if you're not going to continue the trend? You know what I mean? But even then, it's not like Apple and iOS give you free cloud storage either. You have to pay. I think Apple charges you like $1 or $2 a month for 50 gigs of storage, which is not bad. 50 gigs is very good, or it's a lot in my opinion. I mean, yes, a lot of people are going to crucify Apple for it, I guess. But at the end of the day, I mean, if I'm going to have to sacrifice something, it'll probably be the storage of my phone, just so that I can you have something that's going to work really well. And again, there's storage options out there, guys. So I mean, don't even there's ways around it. If you're going to complain about that. 50 gigs for 99 cents it's not bad. I pay $12 a year. Yes, Apple is getting more money out of my pocket than they should. I also pay for more Google Drive storage. Also, I think I'm paying Google $2. I'm paying Apple $1, and I'm paying Google $2 a month. So, man, that's just where all my money is going, guys. I don't know what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm broke. Google and Apple are taking all my money away. No, but anyways. I can work with 64 gigs. Also, my iPhone 10 was 64 gigs. I had it for a year. Not once did I even get close to building that up or getting close to I guess using all the memory. And that's because I had songs, videos. I had I don't know, a lot of pictures on there. I think I tried deleting my pictures several times because I just had so many freaking pictures on there. Yeah, I mean, for $800, you would expect more. Also, I would expect more for $800, especially for the XL. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I mean, they want to provide these services for us as well. I guess. I mean, personally, I don't care. I don't care to have that much memory on a phone. I only bought this one at 128 gigs. I was gonna get the 256 gig. Variant, but I was like, nah, I'm just gonna get the 128 gigs because I didn't even fill up the other one. You know what I mean? So 128 gigs should be plenty. All right, Samsung says you can't criticize Google, but because without Google, you wouldn't be making this video, and without Bill Gates giving Apple money in 2000, so they wouldn't go bankrupt, you wouldn't have Apple. I think we should all thank Bill Gates in general for being a philanthropist or whatever you want to call it. I can't even say it. And I feel like he's the type of guy that should be running for president. I'm not gonna say, but guys like him who are trying to solve the world's problems rather than, you know, making more problems. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. Plus, him and Steve Jobs were buddies since they were real young, man. I mean, pre Microsoft and Apple days, they knew each other. So yeah, but again, 64 gigs is very little for what the price point on those phones. I kind of agree there. But again, if you buy the iPhone 7 at $699, you're only getting 64 gigs out of the gate. If you pay $50 more, though, you get 128 gigs. So I feel like that's what Google should be doing. If you're going to sell a phone, at least, you know, give you those options, right? Well, that's good that he saved Apple from bankruptcy. And now look at Apple. They're way more valuable than Microsoft. At least I'm pretty positive that they are. That's an interesting fact. I need to go watch all these documentaries about Bill Gates and Steve Jobs now. It'll make me feel probably worthless and lazy. And yes, one of you guys made a comment saying without Bill Gates and whatever that I wouldn't be doing this video. You're probably right. I probably wouldn't be doing this. I'm live streaming on a Windows computer over here. I'm live streaming on a Windows computer talking about Google and Apple, which is funny. It is what it is, guys. I mean, yeah, I mean that's the thing. Microsoft still kind of dominates the marketplace when it comes to the operating system. You know what I mean? Even though, like, I don't know, I feel like, you know, people put Apple like in such high regards when it comes to their computers, which their computers are good, but I mean, if their computers were great, like I guess if they were less expensive, you'd be seeing Apple computers everywhere and, like, you know, businesses and whatnot, rather than just using Windows computers. You know? No, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with Microsoft computers. I mean, Microsoft basically dominates pretty much like the business market when it comes to computers and whatnot. I mean, that's speculation. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you think about it, if Apple went bankrupt, that might have happened. But at the same time, you know, maybe Bill Gates would have hired Steve Jobs to come onto Microsoft, and then we would have seen some sort of, like, I guess, uh, community between them, or not community, but like, you know, not I guess not a merge, because you know, if Apple went bankrupt, then it is what it is, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, well, everything happens for a reason, guys. You know, Steve Jobs was a visionary, and you know, we wouldn't be communicating the way we do now in 2019 if it wasn't for guys like him or Bill Gates. So I kind of like think back on it, man, like 10, 15 years ago, like, I mean, I was still a teenager, like in that time frame. Like, man, like, you know, the way we communicated back then was a lot different. Like, I would be on my computer a lot more because smartphones didn't exist. So, you know, I would come home and I would log into Facebook or MySpace or whatever social media site I was using, and I would have to, like, look at what was going on my computer, because it just really wasn't as easy to access on your phones, because, you know, 2G existed and whatnot. All right, guys, time to install the new software update. I don't know if you guys can see that on my iPhone. Let's install now. An error occurred. What? Hold on, let's see that. I can install, guys. It says downloaded, installing, but it says an error occurred. That's weird. I probably need to plug it in. Okay, my phone is officially restarting. Let's see. Are we gonna get the Apple logo? Excuse the dirty screen, by the way. Or it turned off on me. I don't know what happened. It's dying. My phone died. Oh, there we go. Apple logo. It was there for like a split second. There it is. I remember laptops burning the heck out of your lap back then. Thank God I didn't have any of those old style laptops. My first laptop I did not buy until maybe I think 2014. I think. Well, my first laptop was actually a netbook, and I paid like maybe like $150 for it. My second laptop was like a Dell Inspiron, but it was like a touchscreen laptop. It wasn't that bad of a laptop actually. I don't know why I sold it. I think it only had like 4 gigs of RAM, but it was a touchscreen. I used it for like minor video editing when I was going to college. And I don't recall if it had an SSD or not, but I think it was for what it was. It was an okay computer. It only had like it had very little internal memory though, from what I remember. So I didn't. Uh, I think it only had like 128 gigs of storage. But I remember that laptop would get pretty hot also. Let's see. Art Dog says many are saying Tim Cook is better for Apple than Steve was. That might be the case. That might not be the case. I don't know. I feel like, I mean, where would we be today if Steve? I was gonna say Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was still alive and he was the one like still rolling out ideas. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with like Tim Cook or Tim Apple, whatever you want to call him. Jeremy Baker says Microsoft only bailed Apple out because if they went under, then it would have brought a lot of scrutiny to Microsoft because of the lack of competition, and Microsoft would have been forced to get split up. That's kind of true. I know that Bill Gates was kind of going under like a lot of investigation, or he went to court, I think. You know, for the whole monopoly thing that was happening way back when. You know what I mean? Which I mean, there was no competition in the late '90s for Microsoft. I mean, Apple was kind of barely making it. You know what I mean? The Apple laptops still burn you. I can't really say. I don't have an Apple laptop. Yes, they still get hot, but I mean the computers now they still have to they have to warm up. I mean, or they have to cool down, so the fan has to turn on. You know, that CPU is doing its job for you. Well, I have 7 people watching the live stream right now. What's going on, guys? I have 7 of you, but I only have like 3 of you chatting. Where are you lurkers watching over here? Well, at the end of the day, Apple is worth already like what 100 or Apple is worth. It's $1 trillion company already. Let's see, how much is Apple worth? Let's see, how much is Apple worth? Well, the stock is pretty crazy. Just to buy 1 share of Apple, it's $234. Can you believe that? Apple's net worth in 2019 is $1 trillion. I think it just passed the 1 trillion mark, which is crazy. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, like, wow, $1 trillion. And they all have to just think this little thing right here, this little device, that's what's making them their money. Samsung says, I would like Apple more if Steve Jobs was still there, but that famous designer should have been CEO. Without Steve Jobs bringing innovation and focus on a much broader hardware line, there would be no Apple, but I'm not sure if without Tim Cook, they would be $1 trillion company. Yeah, I kind of agree there also. $850 billion, but Apple's market share is dropping every year. That's pretty crazy, man. Like, I don't think anyone could. I could try to go out and spend all the money, $850 billion, the rest of my life, every single day, and I just wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, there's just what can you buy with $850 billion? I was watching a documentary on Bill Gates because Bill Gates is worth like $100 billion, right? He's like what the number 2 richest guy in the world right now, or I was watching some video on like what you could do with like spendbillgatesmoney.com or something like that. He could literally buy every single NFL team if he wanted to. And he would still have like I don't know how much money left over. He would still have like $60 billion left over. Okay. Well, here it's telling me it's a $1 trillion company, but I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. How much is Apple? Oh, I don't know. It's going by NASDAQ over here. Damn, if I would have invested $1,000 in Apple 10 years ago, how rich would I be right now? Well, that's not too bad. Okay, so if I invested in Apple $1,000 9 years ago or 10 years ago, if I invested $1,000, that $1,000 would be worth $9,000 now. So I would get like 9 times my investment back just because of like the skyrocket in value. Thank you, smartphones, right? Jeremy Baker says Apple seems to have a plan to get more market share and more people into the ecosystem. Just look at the iPhone lineup now. More affordable than ever before. Yes, I think that's they are evil geniuses. You're right about that. Tim Cook, he's never going to go hungry, that's for sure. Google's not always right when it comes to stuff like that, by the way, guys. So you really have to kind of like do more research than what Google tells you, I guess. But I mean, I can't disagree because I don't even know. I don't even know myself, guys. So, dang, 7 people in the chat tonight. Nice. All right. I hope I'm going trending live, guys. I hope I'm trending worldwide over here. Okay, our dog says a lot of people think they release too many phones, which hurts them. Well, I mean, I think most smartphone manufacturers have kind of followed in their footsteps. I mean, look at Umidigi for crying out loud. How many phones have they released this year? Like, they've released like a bunch of phones. So, who is right on the internet? I don't know. They conquered Middle America, and now they want to take over the hood. Well, where's the hood exactly? I don't know. Like, how did we go from Pixel 4 talks to talking about Tim Apple over here? I'm sure Samsung has like the biggest market share as far as like the amount of phones that are produced every year, but at the end of the day, it's like who's making the more money? I mean, is it Samsung or is it Apple, right? How much is Samsung worth? Let's see. How much is Samsung worth? Let's ask Google. Okay, I do not know how much it costs to buy a Samsung share, honestly. Sure. Okay, hold on. Let's see. The world's largest tech companies in 2018. Okay, this is an old article, but I'm going to read it anyway. Ugh, I can't go to these websites because they want you to turn on your pop-up blocker. Never mind. Forget that. Okay. Yeah, I think what OnePlus only released the seven Pro, the 7T, and I don't know what the other phone is. I guess the 6T probably earlier in the year. Oh yeah, I mean I know that, but I mean if you think about it, Apple is kind of trying to dive into other things like entertainment and whatnot. You know what I mean? I mean, who knows what kind of company Apple will be in the next 5 years? I mean, if you think about it, you know they're trying to be more of a conglomerate company also all over the world. So a 7T Pro coming out next year, I don't know what to say to that. Like I don't see the need to make all these pro phones or whatever. I don't know. Did my phone restart? Oh yeah, it did. All right. Okay, Samsung. Okay, let's see. Apple is going to services right now. Yeah, and I think that's probably like the smart route to go also. I mean, I don't know if that's going to work for them as far as like their Apple TV and like their Apple games and all that like that goes. I mean, I don't think I would want to spend like a monthly subscription to play games that are not that good, you know what I mean? I mean, if I wanted that, I could just buy the Xbox or the PlayStation and download One Pass or whatever PlayStation Pass, which they only charge again like $10 or $15 a month, and you can download games like that they release monthly, you know, which then they probably offer a lot more. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna check out Apple TV myself just because like I want to see like the shows and how good the shows are, et cetera, like that, and if they're gonna syndicate any like other type of shows or if they're all just gonna be originals, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess we'll see how that goes, guys. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see like the next couple of years on how all this stuff pans out, man. It's already going to be 11 p.m. where I live, guys. I do have to be up at work or I have to be at work in like 7 hours, which kind of sucks because I still got to take a shower, get in bed, and sleep. Obviously, Samsung is worth $326 billion. Billion. I wish I was worth like even $100,000. That would make my day. Tech for your needs. We'll see you later, man. Thanks for joining in tonight. Again, always thanks for giving your solid opinion on my videos over here. By the way, is everyone getting off, or is it just tech for your needs? I don't know. Are they saying bye? I'm thinking about getting off, but not yet. I think I want to see what you guys say first before I get off, and then I'll get off. Maybe watch a little bit of Naruto Shippuden. I've been kind of getting back into that show. My Hero Academia, of course. But no, yeah, I mean that guys. Again, thanks for being fans of my channel all the time. Of course, my channel is growing, guys. Even though I feel like I'm always just getting the same people on my live stream chats. Every time I go live, obviously, I always get like the same like 5 to 10 people depending. But I mean, really want to thank you guys for just being with me. I hope you all are watching the new content that I put out, ones that are not live stream videos, of course, whether it be vlog videos or review videos, etc., like that. Just keep an eye out. I'm thinking about purchasing another review phone. Obviously, I just don't know what right now. It might be the Bold N1. Right now, it's only $200, I think. It might be something else. We'll see. I mean, my YouTube money will kick in early next week. I think what's today, the Thursday. When's the 21st? Monday or Tuesday of next week. I'll get my YouTube paycheck, and it'll be a little more than what I usually get because of the iPhone video that kind of jumped my channel up a little bit. So we'll see if you guys have any recommendations on phones. I think I'm trying to obviously stay under the $200 price range. I'm thinking about selling a few of my devices also, the iPhone 7, the iPhone or the mobile initiative. So if you guys are interested, send me a PM, hit me up on Twitter or whatever. So again, guys, thank y'all for watching. Y'all have a great night. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.